Welcome back, everyone. I am the Bearded Reaper, and today we're looking at the John Bart. I want to apologize for this video actually taking a lot longer than it was supposed to. I kind of screwed up the editing on the first go-round, and I didn't have time to fix it before the weekend, before I could, get it up in that week. So it's going to be coming out a couple days late. I do apologize. But this is exciting because it's the first positive first impressions video I have so far. And it's actually really exciting. I was blown away by this ship. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a waste of coal, but instead it was a pleasant surprise. Real quick, I want to talk about what makes the Jean Bart actually different from the Richelieu and what justifies it being at a tier 9 instead of tier 8. I was going to do like a big list of the stats, but I figured that'd be a little boring. So I'm just going to glaze over the big differences here and there. The Jean Bart does have more HP than the Richelieu, but it also has some of the lowest HP of any tier 9 battleship at 69,000. The guns are more accurate. They do have a tighter dispersion than the Richelieu and a much faster reload at 26 seconds base instead of 30. That's a big improvement. I think it's going to make a huge difference for anybody who's interested. And the range is slightly different. The Jean Bart is at 24.5 instead of 25.3. Less than a kilometer difference, no big deal. I don't think it's going to be really changing anybody's mind on whether or not they're going to get this ship. The secondaries are actually pretty different as well. The Richelieu has 15 152s, and the Jean Bart only has 9, but it also comes with 24 100 millimeters. Now they have a much smaller fire chance, but they also have a much faster reload, so you're going to be able to crank out a lot more shots, maybe not more damage. I think you'd have to go into a full secondary spec to really test that. I think if you went IFHE and Demolition Expert, you could really make a justifiable secondary build with this ship. It feels good. I mean, you're going to be cranking out secondary shots left and right. The range isn't crazy, but it's pretty good. You can spec into it. It's a justifiable candidate for a secondary build. The Richelieu is a little faster. It's about 2 knots faster. Nothing crazy. Average 30 knots, so no big deal. The Jean Bart also has much better not secondaries, AA. It's in fact one of the best AA loadouts at tier 9 in general. So that's something to consider with CVs being all over the place right now. I think you should really consider that if you're looking for a tier 9, maybe a French captain trainer with a good AA. This is actually awesome for that, I think, in my opinion. And that's just what it is, an opinion. The ship feels good. I never had any problems melting planes. And I'm not even spec'd into AA. I think if you spec'd into it, it would just melt planes, for sure. Now, the Jean Bart also has much better rudder shift than the Richelieu. 16 seconds instead of 21.5 base, and that is massive. So, I know you're bow tanking most of the time, but having the ability to change directions to get your bow towards a ship that is maybe wasn't a threat a few seconds ago, but now it is, this is going to be a lot better. The Jean Bart feels good, guys. Now, the concealment is slightly better than the Richelieu. I think it's much less than a kilometer difference. Surface detectability, but the air detectability is actually slightly worse. Once again, much less than a kilometer, so that is negligible. I wouldn't really worry about the concealment. So that's what separates the Jean Bart from a Richelieu, stat-wise. Another thing that separates it is the reload booster. That is massive. I wasn't sure if the reload booster was going to feel like it's actually allowing you to crank out more damage, and it really is. I can't stress that enough, guys. This reload booster will win you games. If you're in like a last-ditch fight against somebody, and it's going to come down to, can you reload fast enough? Guess what? You are. You are going to reload fast enough for sure. I think that's what really separates the two ships. I mean, the stats are different. They're actually pretty different ships. They're sister ships, I think, but they are different. And I think that reload booster is going to make a huge difference for some people. I love it. Right there, the dispersion didn't look too great. It's not amazing, guys. It's not German bad. It's not Alaska bad. But, you know, it's slightly better than the Richelieu. If you like the Richelieu, you should have no problem with the Jean Bart. I was a fan of the Richelieu. I actually thought the ship felt good. I disliked the Alsace more than the Richelieu, which is surprising because back when I played the Alsace, it was before the nerfs. It was back when everyone was saying the Alsace was busted, and it may well have been. But I actually like the Richelieu better. The Alsace just... I hated the fact that you get the exact same guns, you just get an extra turret as the Richelieu, but you have much less range. Much less range than the Richelieu. That was really upsetting. I was not expecting that in the line. But Jean Bart range is good. It's really good. And it's a premium, you know, so you're getting a tier 9 premium. You're going to get that credit boost, XP boost, free XP boost, etc. Commanders. I think it's a good ship, guys. I was very surprised because, like I said, I was just looking to spend my coal on something. I wasn't actually looking for an amazing ship. I was like, man, I need to review something. I need something on this list that's for coal that I don't have yet. And I didn't really want anything at all for coal. And I was like, well, I guess I'll try the Jean Bart. I like the French battleships, you know. Republique was like the 3rd tier 10 I got, so might as well try it out. And I don't regret it. I really don't regret it at all. I'm actually going to do a secondary build on this thing. I've already got secondary modules installed, but I don't have a full secondary commander build. I'm going to do it, man. It looks like a lot of fun, and I like to meme out. I don't really play ships to the best of their ability. I just play to have fun. And this ship is going to be one that I'm just going to meme out with like manual secondaries, BFT, AFT, the whole shebang. I'm going out. One day. Once I have that 19-point commander and I respec it. I did have a Republic commander that's 18, and I had him spec for clan battles, so not secondaries because I'm a respectful clan member. But the ship's fun, guys. I can't really say anything more about it. It's just, it's not the best tier 9 in the game. There are definitely betters, but it's fun. Accuracy's good enough, and you can actually crank out a lot more damage than I was expecting. In this game, I think I cranked out over 100,000 damage, and all I did was bow tank for the entire game. My buddy Lambo is behind me in the Musashi, and he has been trying to work on these guys that are pushing the flank. Smart of him. Unfortunately, he didn't get much help. I was pretty much the only buddy that was actually tanking from this cap, but the ships weren't actually pushing, so I was trying to see what I could do. I couldn't push because of the Shimikaze, which was, you know, creating a zoning problem. And, you know, with him not being spotted, well, I mean, he's over there now, but he wasn't for a while. I was trying to just zone. I was trying to make sure they couldn't push through because I would be there to deal with them. And it worked out okay. The ship does damage. If you're used to the French battleship guns, you're going to love the ship. It's honestly nothing wrong with it. I wanted to make sure that Lambo to my right wasn't really under that much pressure, but I started getting pushed. So I know the Moskva is pushing to my right. There's also the Tirpitz, and this Cleveland's in front of me. I cannot stand the Cleveland, guys. I hate it so much. Actually, the entire light cruiser American line, I cannot stand it. They're all made of air. They're so hard to citadel. You fire like 7 salvos through them, and you get like 10 overpins and like 5 bounces for 0 damage. It's so frustrating. I cannot stand it. And so, you know, I was really actually hard on killing this Cleveland. I wanted him very dead. I don't like them. Worcesters? Oh boy, can't stand them. And yes, I know it's pronounced Worcester, but it is not even close to being spelled like that, okay? I refuse. I will not let myself call it the Worcester. But the whole line, I can't stand them. I'm going to make a video on those as well. That'll be fun. But so Moskva's pushing. I figured the Musashi could handle that. At least put some pressure. But you guys know the Moskva, it loves to bow tank. It doesn't care who it is. So this Cleveland's still alive somehow. Doesn't make sense to me. Fire 1 little salvo. I figured that'd be enough. And stolen by the Salem. Feels bad. And there is the Iowa. Now, the Iowa has a decent position, actually. He's got a good bow in position. I can't really get any solid hits from my position, so I'm going to push in. I want to make sure I'm not getting broadsided by the ships that are pushing to my right. And if they push in, I'm going to have a better firing position on them. So that's the plan as of right now. Wasn't sure what was going to happen. I figured actually the Moskva would push inside of the cap as well and wouldn't push around. But lo and behold, Reaper was bamboozled again, as always. So, like I said, guys, I'm trying to figure out how this Jean Bart feels. Does it feel good? Does it feel fun? Does it feel competitive? And so far, it's a resounding yes. I don't think there's anything really wrong with this ship. It does have relatively weak armor. It's going to burn a lot. It's not going to really bounce that many high tier shells. And at tier 9, you know, you're going to be facing nothing but tier 10s, really. But it does okay. You can get some good angles. It's playable, okay? It's not like you're getting citadeled through your bow 24/7. You're just not going to bounce everything, okay? So don't be surprised if you start taking some good damage from the bow. You got a decent heal, you got a reload booster, and the shells will do damage. Check this out. Boom. 14k. Almost. No big deal. The ship is very capable of it. Honestly, I should have done the reload booster right there, but I actually forget the thing has it. I mean, I use it, but I always forget it has it because I'm not used to it. You can tell I haven't been playing that ship this much. The ship is on fire. Or this ship that much. Obviously, yeah. 20k. Beautiful. I mean, the damage is outstanding. I did use the reload booster there a little earlier. Get a gun knocked out. Upsetting. It is upsetting. But the boat feels like a close-up bow-in brawler. I mean, like I said, I've got less than 10 games in it. Okay, I don't know everything. This isn't a review, but it feels like from this first few games I've played that it likes to brawl. The problem is your guns are going to get knocked out, and that is scary. You only have 2 of them. You know what I mean? You need those guns all the time. But I wasn't going to waste a DCP on 1 fire and 1 gun being knocked out when I wasn't actually in danger of dying. If I was about to die, if I didn't get those guns off, yeah, I would repair. No big deal. But 1 fire, it's not worth it. And I wanted to kill this broadside Chapiev. He deserves to be punished for it. But I didn't get it because he went away. Sad. But, so I'm pushing in the cap here to push up to the Tirpitz, finish him off. Lambo behind me in the Musashi has been getting punished by that Moskva pretty much the entire game. And I feel bad, but I had to keep my bow towards the cap to deal with pretty much everyone else around. So I wanted to get this Tirpitz dead as fast as possible so I could rotate and help with the Moskva. And you can see me keeping an eye on him right there. Musashi's pretty low, like I said. I wanted to keep him alive. Is this Montana in firing range? No, he's not. If I could read, I would have seen that, right? You know, Southern education is not that good, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a little illiterate. Shimikaze's still alive. That's pretty sad. The guy was up next to the cap the entire game. And this Tirpitz is still evading me behind this island. Little upsetting. Thought my secondaries would take him out because he was rather low when he first went around the island. And what is this? Is it a Zao? Why is a Zao trying to fight me? Open water Zao. You know. Okay. Makes sense. Make short work of that. There's a Tirpitz. Got the secondaries locked in. And can't get him killed. It's going to take me a second to kill him. Secondaries are rocking, though. And just so you guys know, the secondaries are mostly in the rear of the ship. So me turning is actually not a big deal. I'm actually getting more of my secondaries on target than were when I was facing the other way. And that can be a problem for some people who don't want to... Or they want a secondary ship, but not this one because most of the secondaries are in the rear. I get it. It makes sense. I still think you should consider it because it's not that hard to get these secondaries on target. I mean, if you're bow in and someone comes to your right, okay, good. You got tons of secondaries for that. If you're having to turn away from this Tirpitz like I am right here, boom, secondaries are rocking. Fire set, good to go. And the range, like I said, I do have the flag on there and the modules. The range is good. There's the Moskva. Bounces because I suck at this game. I did want to aim at the superstructure, but aimed a little lower than I should have. It's my fault. I should technically die here, but guess what? Reload booster is great. Do not... Oh my god, I cannot... Oh man, the reload booster is so good. It's going to help you when you make mistakes. If you aim at the wrong spot in a dire situation, it's okay. Reload booster. You start cranking out rounds like crazy. I was pretty sure that's the best place to aim at the Moskva at this specific angle. I was definitely not going to hit anything. If it was on the deck or lower than the deck, you know, it was going to be bounces. So, took the Moscow, actually gave Lambo the kill, and I tried so hard to help him with these dive bombers, but unfortunately, they're going to get him. Like I said, I'm not spec'd into AA, so my AA isn't top tier, but this boat is very capable of having top tier AA. So if you just want it for a fun battleship, you're not going to go into secondaries besides BFT and AFT. It's definitely going to be good for dealing with CVs. Just don't take this video as an example of that, because I'm not spec'd into AA besides BFT and AFT. So nothing much more happens with this game. Unfortunately, it got a little boring. It came down to just the Chapiev and the Lexington. So we kind of just hunted the Lexington for a while. Nothing crazy. I requested support, hoping he would drop fighters near me. He did not, unfortunately. But right here, you're going to see the maneuverability. Oh, he did drop fighters. I forgot about that. The maneuverability of the boat's pretty good with that rudder shift, right? So I was actually able to swing on in, hit the first one, causing it not to detonate, and then skim by that middle torpedo. I was actually expecting the first torpedo to arm before I hit it, and I got very lucky. Swung that nose on in. If you guys know which carriers, you know, okay, if you're a carrier player and you know how the torpedo drops look when you're dropping on a specific carrier, you should actually use that information to your advantage. If you know they have a really long arming time, use that. Try to pull on into them ahead of time. Doesn't hurt. But this boat's not, you know, it's not unmaneuverable, if that's a word. It's decent. 16-second rudder shift time, and you can, once again, you can upgrade that, make it pretty quick. The turning circle is not bad. It's actually the same as the Richelieu, so if you're used to that, then no big deal. But we're gonna go ahead and end the battle here and take a look at the stats. I think we did, like, what was it, 147,000 damage, which is not bad. And a ship that I don't have that much experience on, I think it's very capable of more. I think you can crank out 200,000 damage in this ship if you're smart with your reload booster timing, which I'm not. I'm not great at min-maxing all that stuff. Credit game was okay. I don't have credit flags in this thing right now. And I already had one win in this today, so I didn't get my nice boost. No boosters. But let's see, 144 hits for 3,700 damage on secondaries. I know you can do more with IFHE and Demolition Expert just to set more fires, but or really to counteract the reduction in fire chance from IFHE. But the boat feels good, guys. Honestly, I recommend it. If you want to have fun, this is actually a fun ship, so don't hesitate to buy this. I don't know what the next video is going to be on, but I'm going to make sure I try to get it out by next week, guys. And you know the drill. As always, stay bearded, and I'll catch you next time.